Hey, folks, welcome back to Rich Hughes Diary. I hope you've had a great week. Hope wherever you at that, well, it's morning, evening, night, wherever you get to watch it. I hope you're doing well. Good Lord's blessed you and you had a good week. And I have to laugh. It's been a venturesome week, maybe. I don't know. Been a week for tars anyway, but early in the week had to went and check, asked the mechanic about one of my pickups and the way it was acting. You sort of thought it sorted in the transmission, but when I explained what was going on, he said, well, how long has it been since you done tune-up? Well, one of those I couldn't remember. He said, that's probably your problem, and explained the reason for it. I said, okay. So I've got a tune-up kit ordered, supposed to be coming in. And a buddy of mine, down there at one of our farms and stuff, used to be a mine there years ago, and now most buildings are gone, but there's some of the rocks and platform stuff they had set, they busted up and broken up in very large chunks. And a buddy of mine, he bought a new place. It's when you go along the driveway, it's along a creek out there, and this big old wide creek, beautiful place. But the water, if it floods, runs up sort of in the road, so he's trying to find stuff put along it to help block that off, and them big old chunks will work. So he brought his dump trailer down to Monday, and we loaded it up. Of course, then we had our tars up because nobody took time to check the air in the tars. Got it dumped out, and he come back Tuesday, loaded another one. And I'd come back home. He was heading over there. And he called. Well, I'm got a blowout over here. And he told me where he's at. And I said, okay, I'll be over in a minute. Got a floor jack and impact gun, went over there to him. Well, he had to have his father-in-law bring a tar and a spare because he didn't have a tar and spare with him, which I was quarreling about the other day. So we aired it up, and with his daddy-in-law, he's a mechanic and stuff. So he brought his service truck, so we got it jacked up, the trailer jacked up, tar, everything put on. And I started telling him, just take my truck, go back, and I'll take yours, go dump, because he had to about run late for work. Well, I just went ahead and followed him over there. Start to unload, dump the trailer. Well, it won't lift it. He's like, well, just going to have to leave it or something. I don't know what we're going to do. I said, well, hang on, man. I brought a chain the other day in case we got stuck. I've got a couple of chains. So I backed my truck up, hooked a couple of chunks of the big concrete stuff, and we slid them out of the trailer, which lightened it up enough to finish dumping. So I had a few other things done this week. Worked and done, peddled that, really, I guess, more like it. And then Saturday, I thought, well, I'll mow my yard. Just as I started mowing, went over by one of my shed deals, and mower picked up something what it was. I never did figure it out. All of a sudden, something in the deck, by the time I went to grab it, shut it off, it throwed it out. I heard it go flying in beside the shed stuff. I thought, well, okay, whatever it was, it's got rid of it. I didn't much more than mow 5 foot. The mower's leaned over this way. Get to looking. The only thing I can figure out is whatever throwed it out had a big sharp edge, and it caught the edge of the rear tar, and it slid it open, cut it. So there's no patching it. I have to get another tar. I thought, well, end of that conversation. Because it's late Saturday evening, ain't nobody open, and I was tired anyway. I thought, well, it'll be there Monday. So today I loafed, should have went to church down, planned on, woke up very tired and run late anyway. So I watched Adrian Rogers on YouTube. And, I had a pretty good one. I liked listening to what all he had to say. And anyway, this evening I decided, well, I'm going to go to town. Get lazy, don't want to cook, so it's a Sunday, man needs a little KFC, I guess, a little fried chicken. No, probably shouldn't eat, but I did. So I get up there and circle off and went around sort of the back way into it. And I don't know if it's something in the driveway. I hit something. Never did see what it was. I thought, what the heck was that? But anyway, I wheeled around, pulled in the drive-through. Well, next thing I know, there's a car. Somebody's beating the horn. I look out the pasture window, 2 girls, young girls pulling. Radio said, you got a flat. Your rear tar's completely flat. I'm like, okay, I appreciate it. And That's the only thing I know the tire wasn't flat for left, but anyway. I'm already in line. I've done ordered ordered my food. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not gonna pull out of line and go fix the tire that I'm gonna have to fix up here somewhere anyway, so forget that idea. I pulled through the line, lady goes, well, it'll be 2 minutes before it's done. I said, well, that's fine. Ain't like I'm going nowhere. So a couple minutes later, they bring my food out, and I pull around in front of the store. They got a flat level parking lot. So my buddy from earlier is, like I called him, because he lives up there near town. I said, where you at? Just got in the house, sat down. And he'd been to his grandson's birthday party. I said, well, good. Now go get a floor jack, get your impact gun, and come out here and bring your deep wells. I said, because I got a flat on my pickup. So he said, okay. So Tommy's getting there. I'm getting the spare down, get stuff out, and he pulls in and gets the jack out. We jack it up, get the spare up underneath the back, and get the tar put on. And he said, well, that's pretty good. I said, why? He goes, because earlier today, he said, we went over to that thing. He said, went up there and I turned around. And he says, I was off the edge of the road a little bit. The only thing I figured out, he said, I put something in the tar. He said, we had a flat and had changed the spare on his vehicle today. So this week, that's 4 tires. We blowed out, tore out, done whatever. So, been a rough week on tires. And I got studying on it. I thought, well, that one needs a couple of tires anyway. This same one getting going to have the tune-up done to it. And I thought, well, I guess I could order a couple of tires for it. For the back, just go ahead and put them on. They'd put new tires and get the oil filter and put that, change oil and stuff, filters, and do the tune-up. I thought, well, it's about 1,000 at this rate between tires and tune-ups. Then it hit me. The other truck we used for farming stuff, I don't know the last time it had a tune-up, and it definitely does not get good fuel mileage. I thought, well, there's a high probability that's what it needs. So, and an oil change. So I guess after I get this one done, maybe in a week or so, I'll order the stuff and do that one. I sit here and laugh, and people talk about all the time how you can laugh at this stuff. It does get a little aggravating sometimes. Seems like everything, what is a domino effect? When one thing falls, one after another. And you're constantly having to do something. And like me, my position, everything I got's old, wore out anyway, about like its owner. So sometimes you got to do a little patchwork. They ask about what I've had done to me, the stents, and bypass stuff. I said, well, as long as they can keep patching me up, like an old truck, I can keep tooling along, we'll be all right. But I hear people get so excited about it, tore up about it, and they always make lawnmower tires. They'll always be vehicle tires. There'll be tune-up kits, and if you're lucky and blessed as I've been, there'll be friends and people you can call and get a little help in. And more than that, I always know the good Lord's there. He's always answered my prayers. Maybe not the way I want him answered. But I do know the good Lord knows more about it than I do anyway. And how can I really complain? People say something. I said, well, I always look at it this way. Is it going to affect me in 6 months? Will it affect me? Will it affect my family in that way? If it ain't, it's going to be all right. And the worst case scenario, people say something. I said, well, let me ask you a question. Yeah. Are you saved? Yeah, I'm saved. Why? Well, then don't worry about it. If it kills you, you'll be in a better place anyway. So don't worry about it. It will be okay in the end. Ain't never been nowhere. I ain't never been. Somehow it's all come out right. And being worried and tore up never changed it, never fixed nothing. And like this week when he said that about the tune-up, he explained it. I understand it. And I thought, well, that's a whole lot cheaper than if I had to get a transmission rebuilt. So sometimes you gotta laugh. Lots of times your misfortunes, they add up a lot of times. But you know what? The good Lord's always been here. He's always took care of everything. Like this week now, we've had rain today and last night and today, and I think they might be a little come through, finish up in the morning or something. But later in the week will. But I had a niece and nephew live west of me, out further out in the state, and they've had a lot of rain, especially the last couple of days stuff. Rains, flash floods, tornado warnings, been under tornado, coming through close by them, and they're home, their family, they're safe. More than anything, they're safe, and things went well for them. And very, very thankful for that. And if you got all that, folks, all the other stuff, it'll all come about. You got each other and family, and good Lord, it'll all come about somewhere. Maybe you didn't got everything you want or everything you think you need. And I just taught my sister, and this old country song come out 20 or 30 years ago. And said something about, like Joe lives, wealthy man lived top the mountain, hill, ridge, whatever you going to call it. And he had everything. Fine house, fine cars, beautiful wife, son, all this stuff. The old fella down at the bottom, he had an old house working on whatever. He had an old car he had in school that he cored his wife in. They still get it right around it. Old rough looking thing, but he still works on it, piddles with it. And sons and stuff, he did stuff with. And then it goes on back to the man on the ridge, talk about how he had everything, but he had nothing. The wife was always gone on a vacation or whatever. The son's out traveling, doing whatever. And he had it all on top of the hill, but he had nothing. Old Joe at the bottom of the hill had nothing in a way, but he had everything. And the old fella down at the bottom, maybe he didn't have a lot of worldly positions, but he had the positions that was important to him. The family, loved ones, wife, kids, whatever you want to call them. He was very wealthy that way. Sometimes that's what we got to look at, folks. At least that's my opinion. Of course, everybody has them. That might not be yours. And that's okay, too. Anyway, I hope you have an excellent week. I hope that whatever you do, wherever you at, you get to spend a little time with your loved ones. Or maybe you've had a spat out with them, and maybe your friends that you miss, pick up the phone, holler at them. They might be thinking about you, too. You never know. Make them smile. Might make you smile. Might bring something other that needs to be said and clear the slate. I don't know, folks. And if you have a blowout this week, remember they make them tires every day. They make vehicles every day. Only you we cannot replace if you go off to the promised land, or if you ain't made those decisions to go to the promised land. Well, we can't replace you. That's simple as it gets, folks. So anyway, as always, may the good Lord take a liking to you, but not too soon. And as always, I'll stick.